them think I'm from here. Thank you. Okay. So the first piece I'm going to recite for you all is Last Letter. October 20th, 2017. How exactly do you start the last letter that you will ever write, dear? That sounds so nice. It sounds like I'm happy to be here, but the pain and trauma in my heart and mind would beg to differ. You see, I'm not happy. That sounds so direct, like this letter is for someone specific when really it's for everyone. It is for everyone who told me I was crazy, I was making it up, it was all in my head. You keep telling me it's all in my head, but every time I go to bed, it's all I ever seem to hear. It's for everyone who told me I was just being dramatic when I tried to open up about my issues, that I was self-pitying myself when I would shed a tear and ask for tissues. It's for everyone who told me as a black woman I can't even utter the words anxiety or depression without facing social rejection. This is for everyone who diagnoses someone's mental health by their skin complexion. You see, this is for you. This is for all of you. See, I tried so hard to silence the thoughts in my mind, but they're running back and forth like kids playing tag on a playground. I tried to choke back those emotions, but they're slipping out of me like the contents of a woman's purse falling out in class for everyone to see. And I tried to cast my past into the deepest part of the ocean, but goddamn it, they just won't seem to drown. And now here I am. Shattered dreams, broken thoughts, untapped potential. If only you knew the lengths I've gone to feel. Bibles open, bottles broken. I have tied so many scarves around my neck, but I could just never bring myself past the point of choking. You see, pain, I've often been told, is good because it tells you that there is something that needs to be fixed. But when you feel numb, when you feel cold, it feels like there's just nothing. December 7, 2018, you know I'm still here, and although my demons sometimes call out to me at night, they want to wrap me up with their claws, I still remember that I have a purpose. You see, I've been told that even broken crayons still colored, and even broken clocks still have purpose. You see, they hang up on our walls, their numbers hanging, illustrating the infinite possibilities of time. And you see, we are infinite possibilities. You see, you are infinite possibilities. You see, I am infinite possibilities, and no longer will I allow anyone to snatch the pen out of my hand and write alternate facts in my book. You see, I had to forgive myself for the mistakes, for the pain, for the trauma. I had to coddle and hold that broken little girl that was crying out for years to be healed, because we all know that broken, crying children only turn into broken, tired adults. And I don't know about you, but I was sick and tired of being broken and tired. You see, I was tired of feeling weak, but knowing I was strong. So, dear you, even on those days where it's hard, I know that my life still has purpose. You see, dear you, with every day there is breath in my body. I am making memories. I am writing the lines in my story. And in case I didn't say it, you may have hurt me, but you can never break me. Don't ever give yourself that much credit. Hey. So the next piece I'm reading, I had to go back to this really petty, so I work with at-risk youth, and they literally call me petty.gov because I be coming at them. Not even calm, gov, it is certified. So I was reading it at my house and I was like, nah, Sean, you gotta go back to that petty state when you first wrote it. You already know. So I did this one once and then I just was I forgot about it. So I'm like, you know what? We're gonna do this one again. So this one is called Diss Track. Also was hashtag say his name. So I didn't want to like you. Right, see, that's how it always starts, right? Every time I say that first line, it's felt that. I didn't want to like you. You were different. You were art. You were dangerous. You were thought-provoking. And that was the issue. I thought maybe if I prayed hard enough and the stars align, that we can live out the imagination scenarios my mind constantly creates, and we can write stories and poems, and finally I'd be happy. But sadly, you, sir, you did feel like everything. But I just wasn't enough. Or you told me I was just too much. I was too opinionated. I was too much baggage. I was too talkative. You told me I was too much of a roller coaster ride for you. And I realistically should have been done when you said that, but I guess I just got used to you. You became a part of my daily routine. You see, I got used to all the times you called me beautiful and special. And although you try to convince me that I am beautiful and special, I don't think to you I ever really was beautiful and special. You see, she was beautiful and special. You know who she is. The girl you were always posting about. The girl you were always talking about. That girl that you told me I did not have to worry about. The girl that's your girlfriend now, yeah, she is special, but I'm not her and she's not me, so I guess I must not have been that special now, was I? So tell me, what was it? Was it the fact that I walk around preaching love even though you can tell I was raised on survival? Was it because my back aches because I not yet have learned to put down the baggage of my past? Is it because you hated the fact that I would try to make it seem like I have it all figured out, but I still have wounds, most not physical, that I have not even began to start healing? I can't believe I was so stupid to think that you would actually care about me. You see, I've come to realize that I was only your placeholder, your pick-me-up, your rebound. You just needed someone to fill that little void in your little heart until you replaced it with something that mattered. But you see, the real plot twist was you didn't actually expect to like me, you see. You thought you could just choose me to forget about me. Sweetheart, I'm unforgettable.
Talk, Queen.
You see, but I do blame myself because I know I have selective hearing. So when you said you didn't want to date, I guess the with you part was silence. You see, I do blame myself because I kept trying to point the light out in someone who only wanted to talk about my darkness. You see, I do blame myself because I wanted to find my happiness in you when I could barely look into the mirror and tell myself that I was beautiful. You see, I blame myself because I was cutting my wounds open to heal yours and you kept pushing me back. You treated me like I was a second option. Sweetheart, I'm not downtime, spare time, part-time, or sometime, and guess what? Playtime is over. You see, I feel sorry for you. I've come to learn that you left before the flowers started to bloom, but it's true what they say, not everyone is able to stand out in the rain with you. You see, I feel sorry for you because you prayed for something powerful and deep, and here you go again, settling for something basic. Yeah, you're right. She might just be beautiful, but is she worth that pen and paper? Let's not forget who taught you how to feel, who built you, who taught you art. You see, I breathed life into your body. I gave you air, and we can choose to be many different things in this lifetime, and today I'm done being your oxygen. You see, you're right. It would have never worked out between us anyway. You see, my crown was too precious for your hands anyway. You're right. It would have never worked out between us anyway. You see, because you couldn't even fathom the worth that I had. But I think the saddest part is, as much as I want to forget about you, I think you'll always be a part of me. You cross my mind from time to time. You see, I really do think your spirit will always linger in my soul. And I hope you don't think I'm bitter because I do hope you're happy. I hope she's both the sun and the moon to you. I hope you stay up late at night painting portraits and singing songs. I hope you can tell her all your secrets. I hope she really is the one that you prayed to God for. But if you could just do me this one thing, I just really hope you're not reading her the poems that you said you wrote for me. Yeah, say his name. No. This was like in September and they're still waiting, so I'll think about it. So the next one I wrote because like outside of here, like I'm just like an activist. I don't even know. I guess that's
an activist. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. So I am. Okay. So yeah, like I'm. So yeah. So I just like sometimes things happen and I just like have these like lines that just come into my mind because people are often like, "How do you write poetry?" I'm like, honestly, like it just comes through me. Like I'll just be sitting there, someone will say something, and I'll be like, just don't even talk to me. It's a flow. Yeah. So this one is called Dinner is Served. And I wrote it kind of based on just, you know, being in class and never really hearing the true history story. You know, my parents were, which is a blessing, always wanted us to know our roots and our history. Even I was thinking today when, one of my friends called me like, oh my gosh, we have like Christmas decorations. And she was like, she was making my gift and she's like, we have like stickers that had like black elves on them. She's like, and I was saving them for you. And I really did think about it. Like, you know what? I give my parents credit because I never felt like I was not represented in my household. Like, I always felt that they made sure that we knew where we came from, even though, you can only go back so far. So this poem is kind of, I don't know what to call it, but it's called Dinner is Served. So I call a ceasefire to the war you've been trying to create since the day that you decided you were going to use our bones to lay down the foundation of this stolen land, a land that marked your ways as strange, a land that marked you as an immigrant, even though when you write the history books, you like to make it sound like you were indigenous. And we all know you packed us up closely because to you, we were just merely imports, you see. The bond of the black family is something you continuously try to break because even though someone is not our brother and our sister, we still treat them like they are our brother and our sister. So why every time I come to your table, you ask me to serve my brother to you? You see, I think I figured it out because even in my professional world, I've often been made to choose between my paycheck or my principal. I've been taught that my young black brothers are not allowed to have these loud white outbursts. You might just butcher them. And then you send me to silence them because, God forbid, the black girl agrees with the black boy. You might just write us on your menu as a dessert special. Apparently, we are a meal that feeds the whole family. I didn't know the blood of black tasted so good to you, but you know what? I've had so many touch my skin and hair praising me for my exotic features. I've often wondered if you're hoping the melanin would just rub off on your fingertips. You see, don't try to lie. Since day one, y'all been trying to figure out how to bottle up this thing we like to call melanin magic, this black girl magic. You've been trying to break us down to our cellular level, extract the exact formula that makes us resilient, isolate the variables that make us who we are. That's why I tend not to trust the history books because they'll never tell you that our blood changed lives. Continuously living out straight facts because I can almost guarantee nobody's history teacher taught them about Henrietta Lacks. You are pumping us with poison, trying to see how we can stand against you because I'm pretty sure they never taught you about the Tuskegee experiment either. You see, history loves to overlook these things, but I just cannot seem to overlook these things. I cannot seem to overlook your attempt to send me outside to bring you back a report on what's happening on the plantation. Sweetheart, I'm not your house slave. You see, I've learned to play this game with the cards I've been dealt, but I ain't nobody's fool. You see, you don't keep me close to your table for nothing. You just want me close enough so you can reach out and request me to serve you. I never took that invitation as a seat. But what you mistook was the true bond of this black family. You see, we believe that it really does take a nation to raise one child. So I've been raised up by those who see it fit that I teach the next generations. And as a young child, I heard once that until the lion learns how to tell its story, history will always glorify the hunter. So I believe as long as we keep telling our story, the history books, I don't think they can lie about us for too long, right? But until then, you'll probably ask me to come to your table and serve you. And me being the person I am, I'll go. But it's not to take orders. You see, I think I'm going to leave my pen and notepad at home. You see, when I come back to this table, I'm bringing flames that will turn this table to ashes. This system needs to be cremated for all those lives who've been lost to make America great again. I will shed a tear for all those who are still being slaughtered as if they are roadkill, as if they do not have families and loved ones. This table needs to be dismantled, and I'm bringing flames so heavy even the devil will turn to God and ask for refuge. You see, I am tired of those with skin like night, stomachs still being concave because their order for equality has yet to be put in. We're living in a culture of kill or be killed, eat or be eaten, and you expect us to take your order? We're still hungry for freedom. I'm still thirsting for the truth. And I'm sorry, I just cannot serve you like that. So, my apologies, but dinner tonight will not be served here. Thank you. And so, my last poem, like I said, I'm doing the She Will Speak series, which is going to be back here tomorrow from 2 to 6. Is going to be, huh? They better be here. Yeah, you better be. I see all of you, and there are going to be videos, and everyone's giving out their Instagram handle, so. And I'm like, low-key, like.
Petty.gov.
Exactly. I'll be like, what you doing laying in bed? That's interesting. Here's the address. I got time. So this is my book, The Tragic Type of Beautiful. If you want to buy a copy, I have some. We can talk after, or no, during the break, not after the break. That'd be when the show was on. I didn't think that through, right? That's like when people be saying, like, you know when you say someone did a 360, they went right back to the point? Like, I get mad when people say someone did a 360. I'm like, no, they did a 180. If they changed in 180, yeah, people be like 360. I'm like, then they didn't do anything. They just went back. I'm sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. But I'm gonna read a poem from my book. It's called Story. And sadly, we teach young girls that they will be to blame for the unwanted sexual advances that happen to them. When they choose to be silent, we assure them it must not have been that bad. When they choose to speak up, we punish them for ruining someone else's future. We single these women out, make them choose between victim and survivor before they tell their story. They did not choose the trauma placed on them. So stop making them choose how they're going to tell their story. Thank you. So last but not least, like I said, I'm a huge activist for a lot of things. So I got to go to this reproductive justice training for queer and people of color on Monday. It was so interesting. Fun fact, in New York, if you're carrying more than 3 condoms, you could be arrested. What? That's my fact. See, they say it at the end of the day, you're only supposed to learn one thing. Yeah, so basically it's a way of like reproductive oppression because they use it to they use it to arrest queer folk and sex workers. So if they kind of think you're a sex worker or like they're basically, I guess you can say, just being oppressive, if they find condoms on you, like 3 or more, they can arrest you. And in 2015, in New York, they made it illegal to actually use the condoms in a court of law, but you can still get arrested for it. So that's everybody's one fact for the day, and I just thought it was interesting because I feel like sometimes we don't know what other people's struggles are or like what other people have to worry about as far as laws, because I was like, what? That makes no sense to me. But for people who unfortunately are like in this category to be oppressed, you know, it is something that the police do. And there have been actually many cases of people like going to court and like, oh, you have 4 condoms, like, let's go. So at the workshop, they gave us, which is another form of reproductive oppression. So this is the generic brand, but it's basically Plan B, which retails for, as we know, like $50. So realistically, when you go to buy this, they're not supposed to ID you. They're supposed to just like sell it to you. Many places don't get it. So I knew I was coming here and I asked Shanice, so I got like a bunch of them. So everyone who can get pregnant can take one. All the folks who can get, they expire in August and there's like a little coupon I think on them. But like I said, these retail for like $50 and they were like, we have boxes, and I was like, oh, got a blast! Like I'm taking them all. So this is my gift to OMR. Yeah. So during the break, I guess I'll just like put the bag out, I guess. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. And like I said, it just expires in August, but you know, just nice to have. And like I said, they're like originally like $50, which makes absolutely no sense. But that's for another time period, and that's when I'm like at another activist place. See, there we go. The more you know. But like I said, I'm at She Will Speak on Instagram, and also make sure you follow at She Will Speak series to keep up on the next theme to our anthology or when our anthology is going to be released. I thank you all so much for having me. I think it's a blessing. Thank you so much for featuring me. You know I love you, Queen. And it's just really nice to meet so many people who I've seen like for the past 3 months on Instagram. I'm like, oh, I've seen you. And if you have any questions for me, you could talk to me during the break, okay? Thanks.